Good morning. I slept till 8:13 this morning. Sort of. I mean, I was up at 7:30, but then I was able to lay there and like do that thing where you try to force yourself to sleep more. That is the thing that I miss the most. Laying in bed. When you have four kids, there's very rarely any laying in bed. Good morning, Sharon. Um, I just put a link for, look at all my subscriber friends. I just put a link for my book. It is 40% off right now. And I know that a lot of you have not gotten it yet, so I thought I would put a link for it. It's on sale for $13. So if you need a copy for like a teacher or do you know the most powerful thing said to me about my book? I don't know if I've shared this. I have had multiple moms of autistic children come up to me and tell me that they've had their own fathers read this book, so grandpas. And it has completely changed their relationship and how grandpa understands autism. I never thought that would be, that never crossed my mind when I wrote it. But I always say, even before Cooper was diagnosed with autism, I was looking for other stories like ours. Like I was like seeking them out. And then I would send them to people. I'd be like, here's a nonverbal child, or here's, a child that's not talking, or a child that flaps their arms, or, whatever it may be. And then I would send it to like my husband or people that I just needed to understand. There's something about seeing your story in someone else's story that makes you feel less alone. If you're looking for that, grab my book. It's very cheap. There's a lot about my marriage, about my family, about my other kids, raising kids alongside autism. There's a lot about education. So if you have a teacher in your life, this book is for them. Teachers, a gift for a therapist. It's just, you will not be disappointed. From what I've heard, I'm not like praising my own book. I'm just saying it's very helpful. Okay, so we are 2 days after Thanksgiving. I'm going to close all this. Cooper and I are leaving, and Dad and Sawyer, I think, are leaving on the Amtrak tomorrow. And so Cooper woke me up this morning. He came into my room and he went like this. One more sleep. He knows. Cooper, are you excited? He's so excited. One more day. I know. Today we're going to pack. We have to watch a bunch of videos on... I'm going to go on YouTube and start watching some videos so like I know. I mean, no one knows how to travel by Amtrak. It's not common knowledge. No one knows. So I'm going to do a little research. I'm not thrilled with Amtrak's website. I haven't been at all. I haven't from booking to any of it. And I consider myself to be pretty tech savvy. I mean, somewhat. And it's not easy. It's not easy. So I'm going to do that today. We have one more hockey game. So my son Sawyer is 11 and he is in a hockey tournament this weekend. A big one. Like, have you ever been in a situation where you have realized you don't like people? There are so many people at this hockey tournament. There have to be 1,000 people there. Okay, that's an exaggeration. But maybe not. All in one space. No parking. Oh, it's awful. It's in Bloomington, it's in the city. It's the worst drive. I got stopped by traffic at like 5 p.m. Like, what is happening? Oh, it's so annoying. No parking. It's 6 degrees. It's 4 degrees. It's 4 degrees here in Minnesota right now. Teresa, I saw all your turkeys in your fridge. Did your husband share that photo? I couldn't believe I've never seen 6 turkeys before. I've never seen that. I was like, is that real? Yeah, Dana, I was like, so yesterday I went to the second game. So, okay, so they had a first game, and I want to say, hands down, I know how lucky it is when I get to go watch my son play a sport. Like, I want to be clear. I am so thankful that I have this child that is doing this. I'm thankful that I get to go, that I have someone to help me. Um, there's just so many parts to it. So, once something happens in your life where you just can't do things, you know how lucky you are, and I know how lucky I am. So I went to the first game. I was able to go, which is great, and they lost 3-1. It was a bummer. And then came home, spent the day here, and then I was able to go back for the second game. And it's a 30-minute drive, and there was so much traffic, and then I had to park like 10 minutes. 10 minutes. It's 5 degrees out from the venue. And when I went in the morning, I had my 2 little ones with me, and my daughter like was so cold walking and just sick of walking that she laid down, and I was trying to pick her up, and she was so slippery because of her coat. Like, anyone that's tried to like hold a toddler that's wiggling when you're wearing a slippery coat and they're wearing a slippery coat, it is the most bizarre. Like, there were people walking by, and I'm like, just go, save yourself, leave us behind. So by the time that I got in there, I'm not fed up by sports at all, Stephanie. My kids just do one sport at a time. So it's just Sawyer plays hockey, and then Harbor has hockey, and he just has 2 practices a week on Saturday and Sunday. So maybe someday I'll be fed up by it. But I will tell you, and this is true as true, sports have saved our family. And it doesn't have to be sports. It could be whatever your child's into. But if we were stuck in this house all the time, it'd be real bad. So I have this sort of underlying unique appreciation that we have something to do. Otherwise, with Cooper, we'd really have nothing. So I am like in this thankful spot where I get frustrated about sports is a little different. I get frustrated about tournaments because it's not easy for our family. And so, where every other family rents a hotel and goes to a tournament for 2 days and goes to restaurants and has fun and does stuff, we've never in, 6 years, 7 years been able to do that. And I don't know if we ever will. Like, I was actually just thinking last night, our daughter's 3. And so when she's in sports, Cooper's going to be 17. I know we'll still have to get a babysitter for him. And it's not a babysitter, it's a PCA. We'll still have to get someone to watch him. And I am no saint. I get very jealous of other families. It doesn't own me anymore. It doesn't control me. It doesn't eat me up. But I get very jealous of other families. It's not, and I just watch this ease to which they can go have fun and do things seamlessly. I know no one's life is perfect. Of course not. I was talking to my friend Adrian about this, and oh, Gina, so many people get unsubscribed, Gina. It's so weird. Oh, I'm going to share that link too. Let me do that real quick. Hold on. Let me share my subscriber link. I'll do a video tonight to prepare for tomorrow. so we can talk about the train. I'll show that right there. What was I saying? Oh, I was talking to my friend Adrienne on the phone when I was driving home last night, and she has an autistic son, and then her 3 other children are older, and they're neurotypical. So she's the opposite of me. My autistic son's my oldest, and hers is her youngest. So we always talk about how she's had this all this time where she had neurotypical kids. She could do everything. They could travel. They could, they could do all the things. We've never had that. So we're just opposite. And she was talking about like going out to dinner, and she's like, before I had Amos, we just went out for dinner. And I was saying to her, I'm like, we have never. Like, I just can't imagine. I am telling you, I could not imagine. It would be more likely that we would climb Mount Everest if someone said to me, the 6 of you are going to go today and watch the hockey game at 2:30 and go out to eat after. I'd be like, what? The other hard part too is when you have a child at home, it always feels like we're rushing. This was the other thing. Like, I always feel like we're in a way rushing to get home. Like, it's like we can't just stop and have lunch or something, unless I guess we worked into the schedule, but like we're always like rushing to get home. So many parts that I don't have figured out that Hey Matt, hey Annie. Hi Annie. I know, I'm jealous too. I am jealous. Someone asked about a PCA. Stephanie, so we do have a PCA. We have an awesome PCA. Her name is Lauren, and she is lovely and wonderful. The problem is that Cooper is not going to sit at a hockey game. He's not going to sit at a restaurant. Although he's telling me he's going to a restaurant in Chicago. He's going to wear headphones, he told me. Are you going to do it? You're really going to do it? You're going to sit at a restaurant? He's like, yeah. So even if, let's just say we brought Lauren, Cooper's still not going to do it. And so it's still not going to work. And one of the things that we really work really hard to do is to give Sawyer his own life. And I think that's important. I want to be clear. That's important. I get a lot of heat sometimes saying that I put too much pressure on my other kids to live in the autism world. Well, it's our life, so here we are. But we work really hard to give Sawyer his own life, sometimes to our own challenges, but we work really hard. And if we do a team dinner, we're not going to ever want to leave because of a meltdown. We're not going to want to ever have to go sit in the car. And, there's a white elephant in the room that I will touch on that lots of people don't want to think is real, but it is. I don't want Cooper to have a meltdown in front of Sawyer and his teammates at 11 and 12. I don't want Sawyer to be in a position where he's embarrassed. No, I'm not doing that. We're not. We've talked about it. We're not doing that. If Sawyer gets a team dinner, we're going to go do the team dinner. And we're going to focus on Sawyer. And so where does that jealousy come in? There's this awesome family on our team that has their son plays, and then they have 2 daughters that are probably, I bet the daughters are 9 and 7, and they just sit and watch the games. They just sit and watch the games, and it's like, it's like beautiful. I know no one else would ever notice this, but I'm always like, I want to no, I'm not going to, but I want to be like, it is so amazing that your daughters are here. Like, it's so amazing. I just think it's amazing. Okay, to pivot on the subject, I want to share, and I shared this in my supporter group yesterday. And I always get nervous to share these things widely because I feel like the autism world is so mysterious and so prone to judgment. But we have this toy room in our basement. It's just a toy room. And Cooper is a sensory seeker. So there's lots of different types of sensory input that kids need. They're sensory seeking, they're sensory avoiding. So sensory avoiding would be like avoiding loud noises, right? They're not going to be in that setting. Sensory seeking is like seeking it out, like seeking out textures, seeking out sounds, seeking out different things. Cooper is this unique combination of both. I would not say he has sensory processing disorder, but he truly doesn't. It's not enough to affect our lives to like, there's individuals who have sensory processing disorder. Like I know a young man who's 14 who has severe autism who cannot smell foods, like a variety of foods. He throws up. He like cannot smell them. That's a challenge. That affects your life, right? Cooper is more, he has little bits of sensory challenges. Our biggest sensory challenge is he is a dumper of things. Now, if you don't know what this is, I'm going to share it with you. And if you type, just tell him no, my head might explode. So Cooper is a sensory seeker when it comes to sounds. So he will dump things out. So think like a bin of Legos, a bookshelf. He will throw things at a wall to make noise. We have this toy room that has like bins of toys, right? So there's like Legos, dinosaurs, cars, Paw Patrol stuff. It's all, and he does not play with the toys. There's no playing. He's never played with a toy. Never. He's going to be 14. But he likes to dump. And so a couple weeks ago, I cleaned this toy room, maybe a month, and I organized everything. And I nearly cried. I'll admit it to you. All of our games had been wrecked. Toys had been wrecked. Like if things aren't made quality anymore. So like just from being thrown, destroyed. And so books had been like stuffed and crumpled. So like think of like books, like soft books, not hardcover, kids books. I just cried. Sounds so silly, but like I felt like so much had been damaged. I didn't know how bad it had gotten down there. I don't go in the toy room all that often. And so I had cleaned it. I had cleaned it up and I threw all the garbage away. I sorted everything. And my son Harbor, who's 6, loves to play. Like Harbor is the kind of kid that would play for like 3 hours, like creating something. And so when the room is clean and organized, like he will play in there and build with Legos and do his Hot Wheels. And so I went down there and I knew it had gotten bad. And I went down there yesterday and I could not believe it. I mean, so I had Jamie immediately put a lock on the door, which I have always said, home modifications are wonderful, but it takes a while. Like it's hard to lock a room and be like, suddenly your kids can't go in there unless they ask. It's home modifications. It's easy to tell people. It's hard to do them. It's hard to lock your house down. And so I spent like a couple hours in there organizing, and I organized all the books, like all the toys. Like I'm probably like 75% done. Harbor, my 6-year-old, played the whole time. He had so much fun. Got everything picked up. And then Cooper came in there just as I was leaving to go to hockey, and he like gasped and like clapped. Like he was so like happy that it was clean. He truly does not want to make a mess. And I had people say this on my post last night, and supporters. Like, it's almost like this like primal urge to dump it. He like cannot help it. And so he goes and sits down in front of the bookshelf, and he starts taking all the books off and shoving them in a corner. And I'm like, oh my God, no, no. And I can't move him. I can't move him. And so I had to like, I'm like, remember, let's go upstairs and make your packing list. Let's go upstairs and like pack. And I finally got him out, and like I locked the door, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, there are so many parts of autism that have gotten easier. I want to be clear. Like, there's so many parts that are, when we were told about severe autism, like there's so many parts that are better. Like, he sleeps now, and he can communicate in his own way, and he is safe in our house. And Donna, my book is at Barnes & Noble, but I don't know if it's that cheap. I don't know if they're having that sale, but my book it's at Barnes & Noble and independent bookstores. I just don't know if it's that cheap. So you can definitely get it, but I don't know if it's that price. And so, what was I saying? Oh, it lost me. Oh my gosh, it left me. Something about dumping. Dumping is the worst, though. It is just the worst. It's like, and so I'll tell you, when Cooper was little, remember how people used to have like DVD cases, like big ones, like 5,000 DVDs or 5,000 CDs. Remember CD cases? Like tall. We have been at so many places where Cooper has dumped it over. Or crayon bins. Think of like when you go to like a preschool or a kid program, and there's like all the art supplies like on a moving cart. Boop. Boop. Oh, there's parts that have gotten so much better. There really are. And I focus on the parts that have gotten better. But the parts that have gotten harder, that dumping, bed stripping, oh my gosh. Stuffing. Yes, Brenda, like the towers. Remember the DVD towers? And yeah. Do any of your kids, and someone commented this on my post last night, cram things? I know it sounds weird, so like stick with me. Like Cooper will put things behind dressers, cupboards, under coffee tables, under couches. So like if you lift the couch up, it's like just stuff. You know, Melanie, I don't think he used to do dumping at school. I don't think he does anymore. School is a really strict environment for him in a good way. But so one of our problems last year, and this was a big problem, and it is in other settings too, garbage cans. He would knock garbage cans over. I don't know why. And so hyperfixate on the plastic bag. Big problem in doctor's offices, in like in the exam rooms. But that was a big problem at school. So I remember like a conversation where they were like, we have to hide the garbage cans. And I was like, yes you do. Like, I don't have an answer. And we're past that at home. So it's interesting how like there's different behaviors in different settings. It's very interesting. I think about it. What time is it? Oh, Jamie's gonna be home soon. So when you say, do you have respite care? Sometimes it's different in different places. When you say respite care, are you talking about like someone that comes in your home and helps you at home, or someplace for your child to go? Because where I live, respite care is your child would go stay somewhere. We don't do respite. I'm just Cooper's not ready for respite yet. Someday. Although we went to my girlfriend's from high school. We've been friends since we were kindergarten. And Sawyer was asking, we went there Wednesday night, and Sawyer was asking if he could spend the night because her son is Sawyer's age. And then Cooper was like, mm-ee. And I'm like, would you spend the night here? And he said yes. I don't know if he would. But it was just, I actually like had this vision, like, I mean, he's going to be 14. He would love to do a sleepover. Yeah. I don't know. And besides the not keeping his clothes on, I bet he'd be pretty easy at a sleepover. You wouldn't even probably see him. He would just be like, so at my friend's house, he got in her big comfy couch and he grabbed like 5 blankets and he watched TV. Oh, this is a funny story. This will make you laugh because you know Cooper, if you know Cooper. Cooper is obsessed with renting movies on Amazon Prime. It's his favorite thing. He's been known to rent $500 worth of stuff in an hour before we've locked it down and known. Yep. So we're sitting down, but he can't keep a secret and he can't tell a lie. And so my girlfriend and I are in the kitchen talking, which is looking into the living room. And all of a sudden he's like looks at me and I'm like, what are you doing? He was renting movies on her Amazon Prime. And I was like, no! But I have to stay calm. So I was like, Tam, could you put, I'm like, do you have a passcode for your purchasing on Prime? I'm like, stay calm. And she's like, and she's super chill. She's like, no, how do I do it? And I'm like, do it now. Like, if you want us to stay, which I know you do, and I'm going to pay you for these, but you need to put that passcode on. So he's like looking at us, rent. And it was only a few. So it was like $1.99, $2.99. And so she thought she did it. And I'm like, Cooper, go to a different app. So he like went to a different app. And then before we know it, he's like, rent. I'm like, you didn't put it on. I was like, put a password on. She's like, I don't know how. I'm like, oh my God. So we he spent about $10, which is fine in the scheme of things. It kept him busy. And then, okay, so then the second she got the password on it, the passcode, he looks at me and he goes like this, no lie. He goes, oh. And I'm like, did she get you? And he's like, yeah. And then he laughs, his fake laugh, and he's like, he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly. Like, he's so funny. He saw an opportunity and he was like, hold my beer. Like, and oh my gosh, I laughed so hard. She was laughing. So I'm like, what's your Venmo? Shit. We went and stayed at an Airbnb one time, and it was an Airbnb that our friend owned. So we went through the Airbnb thing, but we rented it from a friend. And so we're there, and all of a sudden, our friend, Jim, who owns it, sent us a message. He's like, Cooper's on Prime. And I was like, why don't you have this locked down? You knew we were coming. I'm like, gosh. And so he locked it down. But it's like, I will be honest, it's frustrating. Like, it's no one's fault. I'm not saying it like that. But like, he can do some real damage finance-wise. Hi, Winnie, can you come over here? What are you watching? What's wrong? You want to come say hi? Oh, okay. What do you want to do? Miss Winter's here. You're not having... Oh, okay. Oh, I'll help you. Just wait. I'll finish up right here. Oh, I'm want you guys. I just talk about our autism life because I feel like I just don't want people to feel alone. And like yesterday I felt really alone with like the dumping. I felt really alone. What do you got? Are you? Oh, you're still too short, girlfriend. You can't reach it. I just feel really alone a lot. I do. And I have great friends and I have wonderful people in my life. I feel really alone with autism a lot. And I've started to accept that it's really just part of the journey. And I just feel alone. So I just don't want anyone else to feel like that. So I just share. I just talk about our winter. It's kind of cold outside, sweetheart. Don't you go outside. You'll freeze your little buns off. It's only 4 degrees. It is almost your age. Over. Okay, I'm going to help Miss Winnie. She's trying to steal a little brownie up there. I'm going to help her. And we are going to... I think we're going to finish cleaning today. We're going to pack for the Amtrak. We're going to watch videos on the Amtrak. What else are we going to do? We have hockey game midday. I can't wait. It's the 3rd game. I can't wait. I hope they win. And then we will be at the train station tomorrow at 8:15. We're having a bit of a dilemma about Uber versus driving and paying for parking. I don't know if Cooper will do an Uber. I don't know. And I don't want to risk it. So that's kind of one of our dilemmas. Okay, I'm going to share a link to my subscriber group. If you feel alone, like if you feel kind of how I'm describing, click that link. Come join us. I'll do a live tonight while I'm packing, subscribers. Let's plan for like 7 p.m. Central. You can come talk to Coops about the train. Okay. Goodbye, everyone. I'll see you later today.